season, each week is a beading workshop featuring one designer and 2 great projects plus a tooltip. Today is no exception as I'm joined by author and designer Kristal Wick. Hi, Kristal.
Hi, Katie.
It's always a party when you're here.
Oh, and it's always fun to be here.
It is, and we're focusing today on double drilled beads. I love these, they're so pretty.
They really are. I love the colors, I love the look, and you know, a lot of people aren't really sure what to do with them, so it brought a lot of fun ideas
Well,
over
and they
here.
create great opportunities for doing versatile designs too.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's take a look at your ideas over here.
This I call the one strand wonderland.
Sounds good.
All of this was done with one strand of these double drilled, which I think is fabulous. All the earrings, the necklace, the bracelet, all of it. So it's a really great project that you can put together for anybody's experience level and for all the gifts that you have to give,
Right.
including yourself.
That's good. And I love the apatite stone. That is so pretty. It's
Isn't
one of
it
my favorites.
nice? I totally agree. And I like also how they turn out, you'll get a strand, but it'll be variations of the color, the same stone, the same color, but the variations in the texture. So you can go through and pick out which ones you want to put together for a pair of earrings.
Oh, right. So you can really choose the 2 that look more similar, you mean?
Right, or
If you're into that
different.
sort of thing.
Exactly, you can go either way. So like your bracelet could have all different ones,
Right.
and your earrings could have the same.
Good idea.
Yeah, so it's kind of up to you.
Okay, I love it.
I do too, it's really fun to share. And so I thought this little project here, the necklace, is very, very easy to make. And again, we're just gonna use a few little components here, throw it together. It's a nice, quick and easy, do it on the weekend project.
Good idea. Make it tonight, wear it tomorrow.
Kind of like that, exactly. Now remember, these are the double drilled, so we're gonna have 2 holes in them. That's a different concept, try to get used to that. And so you have to think when you're designing for 2-holed lineups and 2-holed aligning your beads. And so I just love this little head pin here, which has actually it's an eye pin.
So this is a pre-made one? You didn't make it yourself?
No.
Got it.
It comes with a cute little cap on the end.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how it comes.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
No, I hadn't either, so I thought it would be fun to make those. And remember, the first stone or the first bead you put on your head pins or your eye pins, that's the bottom.
Okay.
I know people it's hard to get used to that because you think it might be on the top. But so with this project here, I've already done one here, and now all I'm gonna do is, again, put the strands on, start at your bottom, because now that's your bottom, right here.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is be adding your beads and your components. Try to get a good, I'll do it sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Put these on, because here's what's tricky. You've got to put your beads on the head pin.
Oh yeah, and to make sure
the
they
eye pin
fit
to
between
make
the space.
Exactly. So you're going to be doing a lot of designing and putting together and taking apart. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Can I help?
Yeah, that would be
Okay,
great.
let's see.
Why don't you try?
Sure. Well, and this is fitting because we collaborated
There
on
you
these
go.
projects anyway.
We did. This one and the next one, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, here, I'll go ahead and put these on.
Great.
We have one more spacer guy.
Yep.
Okay. And of course, you're incorporating some crystal. I love using crystal with natural stone.
You know, I think it's unusual, but I do think a lot of people enjoy that sort of thing because it gives it both elements, the natural look, but also a little bit of sparkle. And we use the green on here because the green is nature.
There you go.
So now all I'm going to do here is make a simple loop, and then on the bottom of that, I just add a jump ring to a drop and add that to the bottom.
Okay.
So it's
easy.
really, really easy to do, easy to finish up.
Yeah, it is.
And then you just absolutely stick it on a chain. It's
That looks
very
great.
easy with the jump ring.
And it has a really modern look too with the 2 bars.
That's what I thought. I thought it was kind of a nice little, you know,
Yeah,
texture, and the architecture of it is kind of really, really cool.
it is. And the double drills give you that possibility.
Yeah, because we're not used to working with 2. This design was originally made by Cynthia Kimura.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, and so we
Right.
collaborated on that too, which was really fun.
Oh, we're having
Like
a real
triple
cafe here. Cafe
Yes,
visit
that's
here on Beads,
true.
Baubles and Jewels. Oh.
We are.
Well, let's
That's
take a look
fun.
too at these because this gives you an idea also of a double strand design. The watch uses stretchy cord, so you can even use different kinds of stringing materials with your projects.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people might not know that too. Even though it's stone, you can still use all the different kinds of
Right.
cords and things like that.
Yeah, and then we've
in
got
this
some
dress.
bead stringing wire with this one, so it's nice and flexible.
Very pretty. This one's very simple, easy to make, and quick.
So then this is a bangle that I created using the same stones.
I love this. And it looks like it's a triple strand, but you put it together into one piece. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
It's so gorgeous.
Thanks. And you just, before you start, you want to make sure that your memory wire fits over your hand. So I use about a loop and a half. And you can use a memory wire cutter. Of course, you never want to use your regular wire shears for that.
You kind of learn that lesson once, don't you?
That's right.
You never do it again because
I know, and why does
people
it always
ruin
have
it.
to be on your favorite cutters?
Yeah, the most expensive.
Darn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just going to cut this with your memory wire shears, and then you can use a special plier that has short tips here for making loops on memory wire. And I always bend it against the natural curve.
I wondered about that because some people do it the other way around, but I think
Yeah,
the
I
natural
think it's
curve keeps
easier.
its shape better, doesn't it?
I think it just makes, I think it doesn't want to continue anymore in the direction of that original curve because it's already tempered.
That makes sense.
And that's why you don't need a clasp. Okay, so you have 3 pieces because we're going to create 3 strands of the bracelet. And to get started with the pattern, I liked using these double drills because
So cool.
you can string one on just one side and then bump it up to the loop here. Then you can hold this one while you string the other one.
Nice.
So then we can get started that way. An alternate would be to create a one ring that's all beaded and then go through the other holes.
And that's what I made this one to mimic yours, and that's how I did it.
You started on one strand and then string through?
Right. Yep, like
So
this
there are
guy
a
was
lot
the
of different
first
ways to
strand.
do it.
Yeah, whatever way works for your brain.
You know, better together.
Better together. Probably.
All right, so there we have some spacers and one of those beautiful double drills. And then what you can do is, let's take a look at this one here. What you can do here is add a spacer bead and your next double drill to keep the shape of the bracelet. So here I'll add my spacer to this middle strand. I'm going to this time use the wire to pick it up,
Nice.
and then I don't have to jam it onto the wire. There we go. And then, where's my second? You could change colors here, or you could use the same color. Either way, you're going to string your double drill onto that same wire. Then you'll see there's a lot of space here from the beginning. So this is where you can start adding beads. And you basically just want to take up that space here between the end of the bracelet and the first double drill. So for that, we can do kind of a repeat of this pattern with the spacer. And then we'll add one of these little golden.
And I think it's really good to just have all your components out and then just pick the different spacing depending on what your components are, because they're not shaped the same and they're not the same width, and so you kind of have to play with that a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Anytime you're working with natural materials, you know, it takes some experimenting. Oops. So we'll get these all the way on. And then this wire, you just want to make sure you're going through the same direction so that your loops all line up here. So we'll bring this through the end and then wrap it around. And memory wire, you know, there are a lot of tips for working with memory wire. Because it does have that memory, it has a tendency to spring back. So you just have to be careful, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, you do. Get
be
little bites
careful.
all along your hands.
So I just kind of fold it out of the way. So now you see I'm ready to start the next side of this pattern. So I can string beads on to this outside wire to take up that space, then add the next hole. And if we look at this one, then we can see how that looks. Right here, we have our beaded strand and our beaded strand, and they connect here in the middle. So this middle part doesn't have any little beads, but that's your connecting point.
It's like the base.
Right.
The base of your bracelet.
Yeah, and I think the double drills come in so many different styles. You know, you can really figure out what colors you like.
Yeah, different shapes, I think it's unusual, so they're fun to work with because you'll come up with really different types of designs, like you did here.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really like it.
And then on this outside strand, I'm going to add a few more beads here. So this time we'll add 4mm round, and we'll go, oops, I forgot my spacer. Spacer, then 4mm, and then another set of the rondelle and the 4mm. I think the rondelle round combination is one of my favorites.
Mine too. I could have a whole bracelet out of those because they're
too.
so interesting. And it's nice to break up the shapes. You don't want all rounds
Right,
or all
it looks too much the
rondelles.
same. So here we go. We have our outside strands and our center strand. Now we're going to join these two with another spacer. Can you hand me
It's
one of
almost
those
like
apatite
weaving.
ones over there? You know, it is.
Yeah, it's kind of weaving with stones
That's a
and
good
wire.
way to look at it.
And a wire. Yeah, because it's a complicated texture or pattern, I should say, and we do have the instructions on the website, which is good.
Of course.
Help everybody out. But yeah, it's a little very textured when you get the end result. So you're kind of weaving around.
Yeah, and you know what? When you're working on this, you could also put it on like a piece of PVC pipe or paper towel.
Yeah, make it a
so
lot
that it would
easier on
keep the shape.
yourself.
Yeah. It would keep that shape. There we go.
Or
so
do it
there,
with your girlfriend, and then she could help you. You
yeah,
guys
right.
need to
Have a
hold
friend.
it.
So you can see the pattern is starting to develop here.
Nice.
So when you get to the end, let me show you how to join those ends here. These are already connected by the loops at the end of the wires. Let's see yours. Are we ready to loop it?
We can loop that.
Okay.
Yep, we have these
So
little
this
guys
one,
there.
we'll add our spacer. And when you are a wrapped loop maker, I don't know if you do this too with memory wire, but I like to trim it before I loop it. Because if you wait to trim it afterward, it's really hard to get it flush. So you can trim it about a finger's width and trim it away with your memory wire cutter and then roll it. And I'm gonna roll this one back. And then when we're ready to join them, we'll need a chain nose plier or a flat nose. Can you hand me that one over there? Okay. And then we'll join our ends. So this part is a little bit tricky also. You just need to open these loops and join them together. You can use your chain nose pliers and then connect it. Now, those looping pliers that I used have two different sizes of tips, so that if you did want bigger loops, you could have bigger loops.
Oh, that would be handy, I think,
Yeah,
especially for your first time.
right. And I see you have our little wrap dangles here.
I do.
But look, I forgot to put it on. So I'll just open
and that
that
will
again.
happen to everybody
That's right. It
else.
happens every time. It's a good reminder. When you're working with wrapped
that's
loops,
funny.
always connect it to your piece before you go.
Well, and the other thing too I thought of later on is connecting them with the jump ring. So you could
That
connect
would be
the
easier,
connection
wouldn't it?
with the, well, yeah, I'm always looking
There
for
we
the easy
go.
way, and you know, you're more
we go.
advanced, so.
Yeah. What? Okay, let's also show them how to make a wrapped loop. I went ahead and attached the one that you already did. But I'd love to see your technique if you want to do it, and I'll do mine. You want to do it?
Okay.
Okay. Here's a rondelle on your head pin and your round nose pliers. There we go. You want to give it a whirl?
I'll give it a whirl.
Okay.
Okay, so now I just take it about here. I try to take it maybe a quarter to half an inch above,
Okay.
and then just fold it over like that.
See, everybody has a different technique.
I knew
love
you
it.
would, right? And then I'm
Yes.
gonna transfer this over here, and then I like to use my little, where's my curved? These guys are great. I just have it like
Here,
this.
you can do it right
Can you
here,
do it
then
right
we'll be able
here?
to
Can
see.
you see it better? And just wrap away. Because these guys are handy. They come in to parts that are very close and tight that I can't normally get to. And I wrap that. Now sometimes I like a messy wrap and sometimes like a neat wrap, but we'll do a neat wrap for this. And then just clip off the end
Perfect.
and we're done.
Okay, and here's
How
my
do you
method.
do it? This
Here's
is
my
good.
method, I know. So I'll use the 4mm bead, and I make a little 90-degree angle with my round nose pliers, slightly above the bead, about the same distance as the plier tips. Then I just move my pliers over and roll it back. And that way you get the circle on top of the stick.
Nice.
Then I hold it closed with my pliers, and then I use my hand to wrap it around. But you could use your pliers also. And then I clip it down with my wire cutter. So then we're ready to add some flair to the end of our bangle.
Yay. We love the dangle bangles, don't we?
We do.
Movement is fun, especially on this
is.
kind of bracelet.
Yeah, it adds a lot of, it adds just that finishing touch, so that it looks like, I want it to look handmade, but not homemade.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's a fine line.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, let's take another look at all the jewelry made from one strand.